You must have heard of the term America First. But have you ever wondered what's that and what's the story behind this? Well, it is a slogan that is echoed through the ages. It symbolizes a commitment to prioritize the nation's strength above all. This phrase got hyped again during Donald Trump's presidential election campaign in 2016, captivated the hearts of millions, and reshaped American politics. At his rallies, the crowd cheered and flags were waved. Soon, America First wasn't just a slogan, but a movement. But what does this statement, America First, actually mean? Some view it as a way to regain lost economic glories, protect borders, and present American superiority. However, some also think that it is a destructive philosophy that promotes nationalism and isolationism. We'll delve deeper into the historical traces of this statement, the policies influenced by this, and the social and cultural gaps it aggravated. We will explore the development associated with America First during Trump's presidency. With the help of intuitive analysis and intriguing imagery, we'll explain why this movement gained so much popularity among the citizens of America and across the globe. Moreover, what it actually holds for the future of America. So the concept of this slogan, America's First, isn't something new. The statement traces back to the early 20th century. Initially, it got the hype during the 1940s, when this slogan represented an isolationist stance, advocating for America to not be involved in foreign wars. It was then promoted by the America First Committee, a group that looked to keep America neutral during World War II. After World War II, though, the slogan lost its popularity while gaining an unpopular reputation due to its links to nationalism and protectionism. During the 2016 presidential election, Donald Trump revived America's First, rebranding it as a campaign slogan. Instead of isolationism, it was a commitment to prioritize American industry, workers, and sovereignty foremost in a world growing more interrelated day by day. Trump established a platform that rang a deep chord with his supporters by embracing this old term, which addressed long-standing fears of economic displacement and cultural change. But what made Trump's America First campaign so powerful that it reshaped modern American politics? Well, the rise of this movement wasn't an overnight phenomenon, but a result of simmering frustrations, concerns, and hopes across the country. Donald Trump positioned himself as an outsider during the 2016 presidential election campaign, a billionaire who would take on the political establishment. For millions of Americans who felt left behind by the rise of globalization, political elites, and evolving cultural landscapes, his blunt style, unorthodox approach, and promises to drain the swamp struck. His manifesto was based on the America First tagline, which pledged to defend American jobs, protect borders, and place national insurance sovereignty ahead over global alliances. His movement was based on a coalition of individuals who embraced cultural conservatism, economic distress, and faith in Trump's ability to restore the greatness of America. His admirers adored his vision of a restored, unashamed America, and his campaign rallies became electrifying events. For a larger group, Trump was far more than just an ordinary candidate for presidential elections, but a beacon of hope and retaliation against potential risks to American values. With professional analysis of the America First movement's unprecedented impact on American politics, we'll further explore the forces behind this movement. But what impacts did Donald Trump's America First statement have in the real world? This movement that Trump led had a profound impact on the nation and beyond. It had an impact on everything from economic measures to foreign policies. If we talk about the economy, Trump's government attempted to put American workers first by implementing certain policies, like imposing taxes on imports, especially those coming from China. These tariffs established trade wars which affected the global market even if they aimed to defend home businesses. Critics point to elevated consumer costs and strained relationships with countries that trade, but the supporters assert that such policies rehabilitated manufacturing sectors and provided jobs for Americans. Another key component of the America First campaign was immigration. For the Americans who were worried about job competition and national security, the promise to construct a border wall and implement stiffer immigration laws touched a nerve. But the stories of broken families and protracted asylum treatments sparked national discussions and opposition towards such policies, based on their adverse consequences. Further, as we discuss about foreign policy, Donald Trump kept the nation's supremacy over multilateral commitments, which can be seen by his withdrawal from agreements, such as the Paris Climate Accord. Although critics argued that such bold decisions weakened international leadership cooperation, supporters applauded this as positioning America's interests foremost. Additionally, the recent statement he gave about the Panama Canal, that it should be reverted to American sovereignty, ignited debates about American imperialism and became a particularly conflicted issue. Panama's prime minister swiftly rejected Trump's idea, asserting that the canal's sovereignty is an element of pride for his nation. The threats and complexities of Trump's America First rhetoric on foreign relations have been brought to the forefront through his remark, which grabbed international attention. By executing these policies, America First built a strategy that continues to influence arguments about America's position throughout the globe, spurring both development and divisions. So how did America First deepen divisions within American society? Although this movement inspired millions of people, it also brought to the forefront the major difference in how different groups perceive identity and the future of the country. America First became a motto for people who embraced traditional values, nationalism, and economic independence under Trump's administration. Proponents viewed it as an important step towards reestablishing American pride and protecting the country amid the dangers of shifting cultures and imperialism. Critics, however, viewed this slogan as an expression of xenophobia, exclusion, and an excursion from the fundamental values of diversity and inclusion. Protests, counter-protests, and heated debates on social media have been the expressions of this cultural conflict. Social media platforms turned into battlegrounds where the movement's supporters and antagonists engaged, often heightening conflicts through fake information and echo chambers. This polarization headed far beyond politics and impacted on how Americans interacted with each other at their workplaces, schools, and even families. By exploring more about these divides, we will reveal the lasting impacts of America First on America's social fabric, revealing a nation fighting with questions of unity and identity. Communities across the United States have experienced these divides firsthand, with rural areas and industrial towns acknowledging Trump's vision, but urban neighborhoods and minority groups often felt disconnected by his policies and discourse. So how has Donald Trump's America First agenda impacted American politics going forward, and what's its lasting legacy? Building on the deep cultural and social fractures it ignited, the movement's influence continues to be felt all over the country. Trump's presidential election foreshadowed an abrupt shift for the Republican Party. With nationalism, economic protectionism, and border security at the heart of it, the America First agenda reshaped its platform. Despite bringing in new supporters, his stance pushed off traditional conservatives who were the supporters of international partnerships and free trade. Trump's influence lasted even after he left government, as his competitors and leaders from other parties raced for his support and tried to replicate his rhetoric. Other than party politics, America First has left an enduring legacy. Trump's blunt, combative, and non-traditional leadership style disturbed the norms and spawned groups in support of and opposition to his vision. Being an advocate of their values and complaints, his supporters always remain loyal to him, as seen by his post-presidency rallies. Still, critics debate that America First has long-term consequences, which includes diminished global influence and rise of domestic polarization. We've examined how Trump's slogan influenced American politics even after his previous tenure ended. And now, as Donald Trump is back on the presidential seat, his return might give this campaign a new life. This underscores the issue of how Trump's vision will evolve and what impact they'll have on the already fractured political environment, economy, and global relations. Will America's objectives be redefined under his government, or will these divisions become deeper? Well, it's too soon to answer these questions. With Donald Trump's return, the America First movement has entered into a new chapter. His comeback represents a fresh focus on prioritizing American interests, leading to debates related to immigration reform, economic protectionism, and amendments to foreign policies. Critics anticipate further divisions and global uncertainty, while proponents regard this as another opportunity to execute the promises of his previous tenure. Trump has an opportunity to enhance his strategies and address the issues that arose during his previous presidency with this new term. However, the question still remains, will America First further isolate the U.S. on the global stage, or can it adapt to a rapidly changing world?